Coach Rose Show. Beautiful Sunday morning. I got some of my guys with me. My boy Iggy. We spare no expense here on the Coach Rose Show. We send our guys to get some stories, all around the world. So Iggy's out there in Costa Rica, and hopefully comes back with some good stories.
Some Latino ball players.
Yeah, something, I hope he'll come back with that Zika or Ebola or something,
He has been known to draw flies.
Yeah. Yeah, he does, especially after he eats, Yeah, man, so hopefully he comes back with some good stuff here. But, Big Al on the board is here. My man, the icon, Daryl Wheeler, is in the house. Well, one of our guests today is my main man, my ace, football coach, baseball instructor right now, and friend of the show, Mr. Danny Pamaran.
How you guys doing today?
Danny Ray.
Best friends, nobody has Danny Ray.
Yeah.
Our family.
Danny, what's up, my brother?
Not much, just working. Getting ready to go to Arizona next week.
Ooh.
With the 14-year-old junior Olympic team, or to prepare for the Junior Olympics.
Nice.
I'm with a program called CBA, California Baseball Academy.
Okay.
And it's it's nationwide. They have programs everywhere. They have one in Nevada, they have one in Colorado, and then several in Southern California.
Okay.
Texas.
Wow.
So and then they have a major sponsor, Marucci.
Mm-hmm. So, that's a baseball bat?
It's a baseball bat. Yeah, it's a baseball bat.
Okay.
So, what happens is the best kids in our program get a chance to play for Marucci.
Okay.
So the 17-year-old team just came back from Arizona. They won it all. CBA Marucci team.
Dang. From San Diego.
From San Diego.
Wow.
Well, it's not it's the kids from San Diego, all over.
Oh, okay.
So it's kids from LA, but there was a couple kids, from San Diego that were on that team. Matter of fact, Nick Allen's on that team. A couple kids that I've coached on that team. So.
And Nick Allen is?
Nick Allen is ranked the #1 shortstop in America. He's junior, going to be / senior next year.
Oh.
So he's #1. He's ranked 14th overall.
So he's a #1 shortstop.
#1 shortstop, 14th overall.
Okay. So now draft wise, I mean, where do you think overall he might go?
I think he should probably be going to college, but
yeah.
No, he's on the smaller side. But he plays big. One of the things that people always questioned was his size, but he plays bigger than what he looks. He can hit the ball pretty good, and he throws the ball across the diamond about 90 miles an hour. So
oh my God!
He has good quick release, and he uses every ounce of his body.
So this year's #1 pick from La Costa Canyon, the San Diego kid. I mean, Mickey Moniak. He signed for what? $8 million?
Yeah.
Signing bonus.
Yeah, that's all.
That's it, man.
Well, coming out of high school, it's not the same as you're coming out of college.
Yeah.
So, your signing bonuses aren't going to be as big.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're not a pitcher.
I'm just pulling your chair.
$8
million. I mean, what? 17 or 18 years old?
18, yeah, exactly.
I mean, what?
He has a good start. He's a good baseball player. He has great baseball knowledge.
And you had a chance to work with him when he was young, right?
Yes, I did. There's a great mentor out there. His name is John Lynch. He does a lot with the kids in Paradise Hills and down south, and he kind of hooked me up with his team, which is called the Cherokees, and they were 11 years old, and so I came in and I started working with them, with their hitting, their practice, and I had a chance to coach them for a couple of games. I was going to take over their organization before I went to the Stars. But anyway, so the first game that I coached this kid in the tournament, he comes up and he hits a home run his first at bat. Second at bat, he hits a home run. Third at bat, he hits another home run.
No.
And so funny because after the game is over, we're talking about, congratulating everybody, and he comes up to me and he goes, Coach, what do you think I need to do better in hitting? Here's a kid just hit 3 home runs.
Hit 4.
Hit your 4th home run, but just a phenomenal baseball player. He was a shortstop too.
Oh, okay.
So one of the reasons why we ended up not staying with me when I went over to the Stars was, we had Nick Allen and
okay.
There was only a certain amount of innings. So, he went up to play for a team called the SoCal Rebels up in LA. But the coach that was coaching that team was also a scout for the Cincinnati Reds, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, immediately, he goes over there and they turn around and put him into center field.
Okay.
So that ended up being great for him. And then he turned around and had the luxury of playing with some other very good baseball players. Prada from they went to Huntington Beach High School, and they won the Little League World Series. Ocean View, I think it was, back in the days when we went to the national championship. They went to the Little League World Series and won it all there too.
Right.
San Diego baseball next year is going to be lights out, the best that I've probably seen it in years.
Really?
Yeah, it's the best group of kids coming up. You know, it was much better than the senior class this year. You know, the reason when you looked how many people got drafted this year. And I think there was 2 people that got drafted. The first player was Mickey. The next player picked was like the 454th player.
Okay.
So 400, there's a huge gap.
But that's like the 5th, 6th round or something, or
something like that. It's way, you know. So I mean, so imagine that. You know, with all these other draft picks that San Diego always gets, you always get a handful of draft picks. But for some reason, it was really down. But on the flip side, you have probably 5 times as many kids on that for next year. They have 2 kids, possibly 3 kids, going to the Perfect Game All-American game in August. You have Nick Allen, and then you also have a kid named Kyle Hurt, who is a pitcher out of Torrey Pines. He was another kid that played for me. When he was 11. He was on my when I took over the San Diego Stars when they were 11 years old, and I took over this team. Lyle Gabriel does a really good job of prepping these kids and prepping the parents to do the right things. So when I got the chance to take this group over, it was like a marriage made in heaven. I mean, we took it off to the next level. These kids were already doing things that high school teams were doing. So that was a really good group of kids, and now they're all seniors and juniors, and you know, pretty much the whole crew is going to college somewhere.
Can you name the top 5 guys for next year, or? You said
Nick Allen. You have Kyle Hurt. You have Matty Ruddick, who's a outfielder pitcher from Scripps Ranch. You have Kevin Abel, who pitches for Madison High School, and man, in his last couple of games, he was flirting with a perfect game and a no-hitter in his last couple of games, and I think he lost both of them in the last inning.
Wow. So
we're watching. He had a perfect game going against El Camino in the playoffs.
Wow.
And he lost that in the 7th inning. So you know, and so he may be that 3rd kid that's on that perfect game in the Perfect Game All-American. It used to be called the AFLAC. Now it's called Perfect Game All-American.
Oh, okay.
So it's a real big deal, and you know, so you have those 3 guys possibly going. You have Matty Ruddick, then you have Ben Ramirez, who's a shortstop for Eastlake, who is, you know, his brother was the one. Luke Ramirez was the one that played for the Little League.
World Series.
Little League World Series.
Oh, okay.
So this is his younger brother.
Okay.
And, you know, he played shortstop. So there's just a ton of them out there. There's, you know, I can go on and go on and go on, and just so many. But those are the ones that pop off of my head because those are mine. You know, I've had the luxury of coaching some really good baseball players. What I mean by that is that, you know, you teach them things, but kids that want to be better baseball players, they're going to do it on their own. They're going to take that and run with it, and they become as good as they're going to get. You know, I have no, you know, insight on what they're going to do. It's what they do. They're the ones that got to wake up in the morning. They're the ones that got to do all the hitting. They're the ones that got to do everything. What are they going to do? You know. And I like to share a lot of stories. One of the stories that I have is about with Nick Allen. You know, people were telling me that, you know, we spent the night over at Nick's, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and we're over here playing PlayStation, and we look up and Nick Allen's nowhere to be found. Well, we look outside, and he's out there doing his workout while he has friends spending the night over his house. He's out there doing a workout, getting ready. So the players that don't skip a day or don't say no, those are the players that move up to the next level, and it's really, really pretty easy to see. So,
can you name some of the guys that you've worked with that are playing Major League Baseball or minor league or major?
The biggest one is probably Corey Black. Corey Black is playing with the Chicago Cubs organization. He just got pulled up to AAA. He made the AA All-Star team 2 years in a row. He's a pitcher. He's a great story because he also had Tommy John surgery.
Oh, already?
So when he was I think it was a sophomore going into his junior year.
Wow.
So, Mission Bay. Went to Mission Bay. Mission Bay High School. So, a lot of the kids that I had early on went to Mission Bay. I had another kid that played for the Filipino national team last year, Leslie Cabling, who went to now he's going to school in the Philippines. There.
Wow!
And now he wants to open up a whole program up there.
Nice.
So got a lot of kids coming back and wanting to do a lot of baseball stuff now.
Is baseball growing in the Philippines?
It's starting to.
Yeah.
It's one,
It hasn't reached Japan fever yet.
No. What happens is when they put a baseball academy in certain countries, that's when it takes off. Because what happens is now you have all these major league baseball organizations and MLB coming in and voting some money in there, and the kids really take off from that point on. And so the training they get is second to none. They have the best training out there, and that's why you see so many. That's why it's funny because I wanted to talk about this. 39% of Major League Baseball is non-American players. 39%.
That's almost half.
That's a lot of kids, a lot of players coming from outside of our sport. We created the sport,
Right.
And baseball's at an epidemic high in the United States because of travel baseball. So how is that happening? That's a question that people need to ask. How is the non-Americans creeping up and joining our game when we are at an epidemic high with kids playing?
Well, one thing I think we're starting to do year-round, like the foreign baseball players, they play baseball year-round.
Right.
That's how they mastered it. And for, a love of the game, dedication. But now finally, the people that you coach,
right,
they're playing baseball in non-traditional baseball seasons.
Right. Absolutely. They play year-round.
They're going to catch up.
Right. They play year-round. And, you talk about playing year-round, and, you always want a kid to take at least 2 months off with no baseball at all, no football, mainly.
I agree, man.
And I'm a big believer of multi-sport players.
Yeah.
Play multi-sport. As long as you go out there and you can play catch some, every, once a week, and you get in the cage, work your cage time. You don't lose that stuff.
Okay, we'll kind of talk about that when we come back. We're going to take a little break right now on KBLKRadio.com on the Coach Rose Show. We'll be right back with Danny Pamaran. Hey, we're back on the Coach Rose Show, KBLKRadio.com. Got my man, the icon, Daryl Wheeler. Big Al on the boards in the house. Danny Ray Pamaran, baseball instructor. Danny, we're talking about, the foreign countries, playing, they have baseball academies, and like Wheeler, you were saying about, they live there, and they wake up playing baseball.
So doing that for 11 months out the year, whatever.
The muscle memory has become second to none. Muscle memory is the right way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then I'm a guy who goes to one of those academies ever since I was 15 or 14
right.
or
9 or whatever. Exactly.
Right. And then you play 4 or 5 months out the year.
Right. So the only time I'm training is maybe a month before the season starts, into the season, and then I'm done again because I'm off to my next sport.
Because you're going to go play something else or do something else.
Exactly.
Exactly. Whatever you do.
Exactly. You're right. What's so funny is that that has kind of run its course a little bit, where a lot of people are demanding, like, there's a lot of organizations out there that demand that you're fully aboard. And I don't necessarily believe in that. Because I am a football guy. I'm football. Actually, I was football first before I was baseball. So my mentality is football guy.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Danny Ray was a hell of a running back.
That's right. When I'm training, man, my mentality is football mentality, coaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why, I think I get more out of my kids because of that interaction that I have. It's football mentality that comes out, and so that helps me a lot. Sometimes on the flip side, it helps me too much. You know what? I'm not a screamer. I'm a screamer, but I'm not a screamer.
You used to be.
But I'm a screamer at you for a reason. And I'm going to tell you why I'm mad at you.
So there's a lot.
He's firm.
Exactly.
He's firm.
Exactly why I'm upset. We just did this 25 straight minutes. And I'm stepping back. I'm not saying a word to you. And bam, as soon as I don't say anything to you, you're right back to where you were 25 minutes ago. What's going on?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? What are you preparing yourself for? So baseball is a mental game. Baseball is flat. It's like being a chess master, man. You really got to understand the game of baseball, and that's probably the hardest thing to do, is to teach the kid the game of baseball. Because they just want to go up there and throw. Do they care how they throw? They really don't care how they throw. They just go up there and they throw. They don't care about their mechanics. They don't care about all those little things. And there are so many. Baseball is a game of so many little things that you need to pay attention to, because if you don't do those little things, it may not be anything big, but it's going to become a huge outcome at the end of the game or at the inning or whatever. Just the little things, like just being runner at first base. Where am I going to throw the ball if the ground ball's hit to me? Little things like that. You're always thinking a pitch ahead. You're always thinking, an inning ahead. As a coach, you got to play the whole game in your mind, because you want to be able to make the right choices to put the kids in the right position to be successful. Yeah. Because it is a game of losing.
But Danny, like we were talking, like, when we played baseball, then we go play football, we go wrestling or whatever else sport. Yeah. But now,
I remember you played once, like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a month, American Legion after high school, and that was it. Yeah. That was it. Then football rolled around, you were in football, and that was it. I mean,
So you think that, like this, every sport now is like demanding, year round from each kid. Like now football with the 7-on-7.
Football, that's crazy.
Which I can't stand, but, with the football, basketball, cause it's inside, year round.
Basketball doesn't stop.
Yeah. So those sports can keep going, and then football's now doing that too. But, so now they're demanding these club teams and, travel ball, I think it's diluting everything. It's keeping kids from playing all sports, And the other thing I was going to touch on is the brothers, man, the young black kid. Why are they not playing baseball? When one of the greatest players in the history of baseball are black.
I think is it
a $300 bat?
It's a twofold. It's a twofold. Yes, it is.
Is it thousands of dollars for travel ball?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of kids that don't play baseball because they can't afford it. To play it, you have monthly dues that are anywhere from, $50 up to $125, $200 in some places. Ridiculous. Then you got a registration fee that pays, where the organizations have you throw down to where that pays for the fields and the lights and the practice area. That's another $125 at the beginning of the year. Then you have tournaments, where if you play 2 tournaments a month and it's $100 a tournament, that's $200. $200 extra a month just for the tournament. Now, if it's out of San Diego, now you got to turn around and pay for hotels. So it's a very, very, it's crazy. The numbers are crazy.
Far cry from going around the block to play baseball.
Or going out in your front yard and playing football from morning till the lights go on. Mom says, get your butt in the house. Exactly. I tell my kids this all the time, that's where I learned the game of baseball. Yeah. And so, but right or wrong, that's the way I learned it. And growing up, the whole block used to play in front of my house, and it got so boring that we turned around and made ourselves switch hitters. So I was because we got tired of hitting all the time. So we had to go left-handed, one at bat, right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed.
And always the best hitter had you got that left-handed.
Exactly.
But all of a sudden you bat.
So what it did is it taught us a little bit of the game. Now, now I'm thinking, okay, this guy's gonna turn around and bat left-handed next time. I'm gonna walk this guy into the right-handed guy, so I can face that left-handed guy. So it started making you think, we're just out there playing in our front yard, but we were already thinking baseball, already talking, learning the game of baseball, that mental part of the game.
See, without a bunch of coaches. Just kids coming up,
exactly.
Being creative.
Exactly. And that's probably what has allowed me to be the coach that I am, because I'm always getting better, and as long as I continue to get better, then I'll be a better coach. The minute that I think that I'm the best coach, or this and that, look at all the guys, blah, 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 then I'm done. I can't get any better. Yeah. I'm always evolving. I'm always trying to get better as a coach.
So like Wheels and Danny, so when a young black kid gets up in the morning, he's not thinking baseball.
Absolutely not.
What's he thinking? He's thinking football.
He's thinking football. Basketball. He's thinking basketball.
And see, now you gotta realize the other component to your 2-part, situation is specialization again. Right. So if you love basketball, but you like baseball too, if you want, your coach is going to tell you, man, if you want to get anywhere in basketball, you want to be on my team, you got to come to summer basketball, name it. All winter. You got to be here and do this.
Right.
Now they can't play baseball no more.
Yeah.
And if they go out, you still like it. So you want to go out there and give it a shot. Right. But now you're so far behind.
You're rusty, yeah.
And you're telling this to an 11-year-old kid or a 12-year-old kid or a 13-year-old kid that they gotta pick and choose.
See, right.
Yeah.
We don't come from that era.
Exactly.
That's why it's kind of hard for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
With the foreign competition, it's forcing you to pick.
Yeah.
At an early age, that's the crime.
Right.
Picking at an early age.
And also too is the teaching. There's a lot of baseball playing out there, so that means there has to be a lot of baseball coaching. And there's just, I don't know why people do what they do. I know why I do what I do is because I want to give kids an opportunity that I didn't have.
Yeah. Yes. So you're saying like, anybody can say anybody's dad can, start a team and say they're a baseball guru and, call it a team and then have his son and all his son's friends and all of a sudden you have a travel ball team.
Exactly. And that's what happens. It's travel ball. It's who can have the best bunch of kids, the 9 best bunch of kids to have the best team. Yeah. And that's what happens. And winning is so vicious. Winning is everything to these people. They would rather win than teach kids the right way of the game of baseball. And it's crazy. And for me, I've always coaching. I've been coaching for about 30 years, and I've had the luxury of coaching high school. I've had the luxury of coaching some very good baseball and football players. So to me, I've always been a part of a winning organization. So when you don't win and you get these kids out here that need to be taught, one of the biggest things is called it's chemistry. It's called continuity. And to me, you can't be a winner if you don't have a chemistry and if you don't have continuity. And all these kids, they're bouncing from team to team to team. So they're never going to win. How do they win? How do you win? So that's why when high school baseball comes around, there's certain organizations win every stinking year. Why? Because they get the group of kids that know how to win, and they got a coaching staff that have a program. The Powways, the Rancho Bernardos, the Grossmans, the Granny Hills. Those are coaches that they know how to win. They'll win with anybody.
Yeah. So. Well, you probably see these guys, like Adam Jones, on the Orioles. Back in the day, Sam Horn from Morris. They're both from Morris High School, right?
Mark McLemore,
Angels, played for Angels.
And where do they all go to school? Morris, exactly.
Yeah.
So what has changed since then? You got to ask yourself because you go there. Exactly. You have to ask yourself why? What's going on that doesn't allow those kids to come out there and have a chance anymore?
Well, because of the things you said, the expenses and the specialization.
Exactly.
Like you may have a baseball dream, but you're in the 8th grade and you're already 6'3".
Yeah.
People are going to gear you towards
basketball.
Right. And then, so you've been doing all this basketball training, but you still got that baseball dream. So you go out there and try out, and you're playing against guys who've been playing, year round or whatever, and you get disappointed and go back to basketball.
You're absolutely right. That's why in Mission Bay, you'd get the kids that played down in Paradise Hills, they come to Mission Bay because they were football players and all that stuff, and they turn around and want to play baseball. And they would come out and they say, Coach, I made All-Stars 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row. And they would come out and you would see night and day. They'd be totally different. They'd be so far behind those kids that were playing, there because they've been playing. Exactly. They get discouraged. So, it was always tough trying to get, those kids that have played forever, down there. And then they come out to try to play high school, and it's a different game.
Okay, tell me this then, because baseball's doing good financially and all that good stuff, right?
Right.
Attendance is okay. So why in the last few years have Major League Baseball reached out to the urban communities and trying to get blacks more involved in baseball?
Well,
if they're not losing, because money usually drives them. If they're not losing money, why are they concerned?
Well, because they're not getting them young. They're not getting the baseball player young. You know what I mean? They're not getting them at 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. Back in the days, you could do that because they would just, they'd get them and everybody would be in the same talent pool. They'd all start at the same time. They'd all finish at the same time.
Right.
But now you have the kid that may not be a really good athlete, but he knows the game of baseball. He's being taught and he's working hard. That kid is going to be much, much better than the athletic kid that just comes and plays and doesn't know the techniques and the simple and the fine tuning things. That's where that happens. So the kids that are learning the game of baseball, the kids that are working hard, those kids are the ones that just rise to the top. So, perfect example is Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, I saw Bryce Harper early on in his career, like when he was 10, 12 years old. And, right then and there, you knew he was going to be just a phenomenal player because of his swing, because he would get on the mound and he'd throw harder than everybody. He just was a beast back then. Well, it's because his dad taught him all this stuff when he was at a younger age. So he had all this time to fine tune the right way to swing, the right way to throw, the right way to field. And now he just had to learn the game. And as he went along, he just started getting better and better and better to where when he was 13 years old, he was playing with guys older than him. Played tournaments with us, stuff like that, because his knowledge was so much greater than everybody, even kids that were older than him. That's why he was able to do the things that he's done.
You know who else shared that same
philosophy?
Scenario philosophy is Adrian Gonzalez. Yeah, same thing. He said he played with his older brothers, right? And they treated him like he was their age.
Yeah.
Right.
If he's on first base, playing first, they would sling him, from shortstop, throw the ball any minute. He said he had to learn to save his life.
Yeah.
Hey, I have my better kids working with some of my older kids, like we'll take an infield sometimes. And, one time we had my 12-year-olds, I'm taking infield, and I had a couple of 9-year-olds that were really good 9-year-olds. Yeah. And so, there was one ball that was hit to my third baseman. He turns around and rolls a double play and he's throwing it to my little 9-year-old and the ball's coming right at his face. I'm like saying, oh no, nothing more, man. And tossed the double play. I'm like, wow. He didn't even flinch. Why? Because now he's training himself. And that goes a step further is kids that come out and play baseball, if they play up, they're getting better because if you want to play high school baseball, if you want to play varsity baseball as a freshman, how are you going to do that? You're going to say one day, I'm showing up on the field and say, hey, I want to play varsity baseball. If you've never competed against an older age group, if you've never competed against guys that are 18 years old, how in the heck are you going to compete against them in the game? Those guys are throwing hard. They know the game of baseball, and you're just a scrawny little freshman, 14 years old, but I'm the best player in my team,
I was the best over it.
Exactly. I tell you what, it's kind of funny. When I was growing up, I was left-handed, but I played shortstop, I played catcher, I pitched. That's all I knew. Okay? Nobody ever told me that you couldn't play shortstop. So when I went up to high school, I went right to shortstop. And Bob Roeder, man. Bob Roeder, I'll never forget this story, man. Bob Roeder turned around and said, Pamaran, where do you think you're going? That's some type of joke? I go, what do you mean, coach? Get your butt in the outfield. You're too short for first. Get your butt in the outfield.
That's when I went to the running backs in football.
I looked at him. I said, coach, this is all I know. This is all I've ever played. He goes, well, not in my lifetime. So, matter of fact, go to left field so your hand glove could be on the foul line and settle. So right away I was introduced to the game of baseball the right way. And it was like a ton of bricks. Bam! I'm like saying, wow.
In high school.
But look, I wasn't ninth grade, I was 10th grade.
Yeah.
I was a 10th grader. So at that point in time, I had to turn around and say, wow. I gotta figure this out. So, I kind of was frazzled. So instead of becoming a pitcher, I never even pitched in high school, and I was one of the better pitchers around, I had two guys that on my Little League All-Star team that were drafted, in the major leagues. One of them is a scout for the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is David Finley. David Finley was just drafted last year. Yeah, Dave and I we go way back. And then another guy was Mike Herb, who was drafted in California. Yeah. So we were all on the same baseball little league, grew up together.
Yeah, well, going back to the theme of the inner city, so basketball, they only have 2 rounds of draft. Okay. But they think they're going to the NBA. Now NFL only has 7 rounds of draft. Everybody thinks they're going to play in the NFL. But baseball, they draft till they drop, right?
36 rounds.
36 rounds. I mean, isn't there more of a chance to make it in baseball? I mean, you got minor leagues. There's no minor leagues in football, but college, so to speak. And then, they have the D League in the NBA, but
visually, when you're a 6-year-old and your parents who ever turn the TV on, and there's a football game on, it's immediate action.
Yeah.
They getting down.
Yeah.
Right? Baseball.
It's a walk in the park.
Right. So now you're more drawn to the more exciting sport.
Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely.
The other one may pay greater dividends later.
Yeah.
But when you're real young, you don't, all you see is that action. And basketball is like, it's nonstop.
Nonstop.
You don't switch defense and offense after that, man. It's just like,
right.
And so it's appealing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the other thing in baseball, which I like people.
Now, instant gratification.
Right, exactly. It's the age of, I expect it. I expect to be there. Didn't work for it, but he expects to be there. So it's funny because I can sit here and talk baseball all day about the ins and outs, and one thing that I've really done is I've really became like a Yoda type. I want to learn more. I'm always wanting to learn why. I always say why. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I go out and try to find it. So what I try to do is I try to take I take something from everybody and I just put it into my program to allow my program to grow all the time.
Yeah.
And so, I've had the luxury of coaching, being an assistant with Coach Bob Roeder. And then the biggest one was Coach Dennis Pugh. When I took off.
Kiss the ring, baby.
Exactly. It was when I met Dennis Pugh, and he's just a phenomenal guy. He teaches you. A program can run itself if you build it the right way.
Right.
And don't over try to do everything. You don't want superstars up and down the lineup.
Right.
You want a certain amount of kids, so this way you can build every year.
Right.
Things like that.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the game of baseball is you gotta gotta want to play. You gotta want to get better. You gotta learn to play the game of baseball.
Right.
Because you can be an athlete, and when something needs to come up in the game of football or baseball or basketball, you can rely on your athletic ability. In the game of baseball, you can be athletic to a certain point, but when you got to be able to swing the bat, athleticism isn't going to get you to it. It's not going to get you to the 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Right. Right. So, and the other thing is we were talking about is, how much is a bat nowadays? I mean, come on.
You're talking, best bats are like $300. Just ridiculous prices.
In the glove?
Oh, glove, man. What, $350?
You have to buy a cow and then.
Yeah, you got to buy a cow. You got to, get it all nice and right.
And Danny, can you tell us how to get a hold of you for your baseball instruction? If somebody wants to play for you.
It's you can go to D.Pamaran at gmail.com. Actually, it's G.Pamaran Select Baseball at gmail.com.
Okay.
You can go to CBA.org, CBABaseball.org. That's the big organization. I'm on there too. So
okay, so we'll be back next week on the Coach Rose Show on KBLKRadio.com. Thank you, Danny Ray Pamaran and Mr. Kevin Mitchell. Thank you for coming.
No doubt.
All right.